Well, it's been a while. The last time you guys saw me, it was the middle of December, and I was swamped with light job after light job, but that definitely is a blessing because it means we were busy, business was booming, and it was by far our best season, which I'm super grateful for. And that's not only because of my hard work, but also my team's hard work. And while I wasn't able to film as much as I wanted to, I definitely got enough on camera to document the process from start to finish, show you guys some of the advertising process, client acquisition process, as well as actually doing real jobs. So I wish I could have filmed more, but that's why I actually had to stop filming, which I'll get into more. Right when that last video came out, we actually got our biggest job of the season, and that involved working over 12, 13, 14-hour days. And as a result, there was no way I could film, edit, cook all my meals, come home, sleep, go to my 9 to 5 and repeat. And when we are on those job sites, there's honestly no time to film because we're battling against the daylight and it's freezing out during the nighttime. So we really need every second that we can when the sun is out. And that's why we just had to put the cameras down, put our heads down and work. But as a result, we were able to finish all of our jobs, make sure all our clients were happy. And honestly, I couldn't be more grateful for everything that happened because it actually surpassed our expectations. And I have to give myself some credit. I was doing pretty good with filming, but once we got to that last job where it was just so massive and we had such a little amount of time to do it because they kept wanting more after seeing how much they liked the original request, I just had to put the camera down and work with the team to get it done. But I actually do have a few clips from that day, and that's kind of when I made the decision, like, we're not going to finish this if I try to film and document everything because it's just going to slow everything down. So I'll show you guys a few clips from that day, and then after that I went silent because we were just finishing all the jobs. I even had to work on Thanksgiving, so it was just one of those situations where we had to get the jobs done. But anyways, enjoy these clips from that day, and then I'll pick up in present day and kind of explain what I've been up to and some of the lessons that I've been learning. Man, I wish I could have recorded the past 2 weeks, but we managed to close some huge clients, massive jobs, and unfortunately it required literal 12-hour work days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I even had to work on Thanksgiving, so unfortunately it was one of those situations where I had to just put my head down and work, and filming would have just made the jobs take way longer. And you know, when you're in the cold on Thanksgiving, you're trying to finish as soon as possible, of course. So unfortunately I wasn't able to film, but today we're on the way to one of those massive jobs because they want to go higher on a few of the trees. So I'm going to show you guys what we've been working on and why I've been unable to film for the past 2 weeks. So let's check it out. Progress update. Didn't finish tonight, but here's what some of the house looks like. This tree isn't on for some reason, but I think it's because we turned off the timer for now. But yeah, here's a little update tonight, and we'll be back tomorrow to finish it up. Now that you guys have seen those clips and how massive that last house was, I hope you can kind of understand why I had to put the camera down and just focus on actually getting the job done. But it's been a few months, and I've been doing a bunch of trading, working out, meal prepping, eating clean, the whole 9 yards. And right now I'm actually on a walk. I want to show you guys how beautiful it is out here. The sun is kind of just setting because it's so hot out. So I wanted to wait a little bit later in the day before I went out. And now it's just absolutely beautiful. I had to quickly make it across the detour, but now we're back. So anyways, after I finished up the lighting season, I had to end the cut briefly during that time because it was impossible to eat my meal preps and actually just even do the meal preps during the lighting season because, as I mentioned, I was working over 12 hours a day and it was impossible to get good sleep, cook all those meals, and even have time to eat those type of meals during the day because honestly, there were some days where I was on the roof for over 10 hours and there was literally no way to even just get off to take a break. So had to cut off the diet for a little bit, but I learned a ton, and there's a few lessons that I actually want to share with you guys. So anyone out there who's on a diet hears about these things before they do it, so they don't make the same mistakes I did, and honestly just make it easier on themselves going forward. The first step to actually know how to diet properly and make sure to keep the weight off is know what number your body starts to lose weight at, meaning how many calories can you eat per day to be in a calorie deficit. This number depends on multiple factors, including how many times per week you exercise, how much calories you just naturally burn at a resting rate, you know, just levels of activity in general is super important. And so someone like me who works out 7 days a week, I'm actually able to eat a lot more calories than the average person because I'm constantly burning calories every day. Right now I'm burning between 800 and 1200 calories on average per day. And that explains why my maintenance calories is actually right around 3000 calories per day. And that includes, lifting weights each day, farmer's carries, as well as me getting at least 10,000 steps per day. However active you are, it honestly doesn't matter as long as you're able to understand what that number is for you to maintain at a slight deficit. And it depends how many pounds of fat you actually want to lose per week, and that's how you can back into how many calories that you want to actually eat. I chose to lose around a pound of fat per week because I believe that's an optimal number and something that I thought I could maintain. And the way to understand how many calories you have to be in a deficit per day to lose a pound per week is that there's 3,500 calories per pound of fat. So you take the number of calories total in a pound of fat, which is 3,500, divide that by the number of days in a week, being 7, and that means that every day I'm in a 500 calorie deficit. And that math worked out perfectly because I ended up losing just over a pound of fat per week. Once you know how many calories that you need to be in a deficit per day, it's honestly super important that you track these meticulously, because it's super easy to think you're tracking all your calories, but then you use some olive oil or some sauces that you don't realize actually are really high in calories, and then you actually are not losing the weight you want. What worked for me is I actually built an Excel sheet using ChatGPT that basically allowed me to plug in all my macros, everything in there, and I was able to basically track how much weight I'm losing per day. I put my weights in there, my total number of protein, carbs, fats, cholesterol, literally everything. Every metric that you'll see on a food label, I put into this, and I kind of graphed it over time to make sure that I was losing the correct amount of weight per day, and I had to make any adjustments if necessary. Luckily for me, I was able to do it correctly the first time and simply just watch the weight fall off me, which was amazing. While I did track the weight every day and logged it meticulously, I also want to let you guys know to not really focus on the daily number of your weight, because it's affected by many factors, such as how much sodium you had the day before, the actual volume of food you're eating, and honestly a few other factors as well. But regardless of what the daily weight says, it's more important about what your weekly weight says. And the daily weight's just kind of used as a safeguard to understand, like, I shouldn't be fluctuating too much, but a pound or two here and there actually is not bad at all. But use your kind of weekly weight as a gauge for, am I losing weight per week? And that's where you should see the pound difference consistently week by week. So now I'm going to share something that I really didn't understand until after the fact, when I actually saw some people online talk about it, because this was my first time really tracking my calories and doing it cut the proper way, as opposed to just eating healthy foods in smaller quantities, which technically you can lose weight, but if you don't really track your calories in and out, you're not really losing weight at the most optimal way. And if you really want to keep it off, you have to know how to track your calories going forward. So there were a few days in the cut where I was actually under eating calories because I was just trying to find an optimal deficit. And during these times I had terrible cravings where I was craving things that I've literally never had, or things that I don't eat. I was craving weird things like crumble cookies, extra large pizzas, which I honestly just don't eat pizza. I love pizza, but I just don't eat it. And a ton of other unhealthy things like those cookies with pink frosting on them that you'll see at like the markets, Oreos, like just a bunch of random stuff. And I was like, why am I craving all this stuff out of the blue like this? Because I understand I'm in a deficit and obviously I want more food and I'm definitely hungry, but like, why am I craving this random junk food? And so the way that I actually ended the cut was, I was at the gym one day after like 2.5 months of being on the cut, and like I just felt so weak, like I had no strength because my glycogen was just depleted beyond belief, and I just needed more food. So I'm like, screw it, I'm just gonna call it here because I've already lost 20 pounds and I'm just craving a pizza. So sure enough, I got a pizza and I like downed as many slices as I could. It was like a Chicago deep dish. I had like 6 pieces, and honestly it was amazing. I felt full beyond belief, but it was definitely worth it in the sense that I just needed that so bad. But after the fact, a few months later, I looked at some videos online, and it was someone else talking about how when you're on a cut, one of your body's like stress responses is to basically give yourself absurd cravings to basically try to force on as many calories as possible, because it's like your body's way of tapping into that survival mode of, I'm not getting enough food each day, so I'm trying to make you crave things that are very calorically dense, in this case donuts, cookies, pizza, etc., because that's how you gain the weight back. And so I had no idea that it was actually not me craving those things. It was just like a stress response to the body being on a cut. So if anyone has those cravings when you're on a diet, don't give into them, because they're actually not real. It's just your body's way of trying to force on food to make you gain weight back that you're losing. And so I thought I deserved all these cheat meals because I lost so much weight and I was craving all these things. So I definitely had a few of them, gained a little weight back, but it was during the holidays when I was actually doing all these lighting jobs, so I needed the calories anyways. But for the last 2 months, I've been on a mini cut where I've basically just been getting rid of any extra weight that I put on during the holidays. And so now I'm at a really good weight where I feel amazing doing my cardio. I feel light. And from here, I honestly would just want to do maybe a mini cut in a few months just to be like fully shredded. But as of now, I'm at a weight probably around, I'd say 12 to 15% body fat. I feel amazing. My diet's been going well. And today is actually the last day of the diet. So starting tomorrow, I'll be trying to find my maintenance, which I believe is around 2,900 to 3,000. And so I'm going to start eating at 2,900 so I don't overdo it, and then eat more calories if necessary. But I've learned so much throughout this process, and the second time going on this diet was actually the sweetest, I'd say, because I had the cravings again, but now I knew they weren't real, so I didn't have to give in. And so all these things that I've gone through have been great lessons, and I hope that anything I share with you guys today, maybe you guys are trying to do something similar, and going forward, I'm just going to be at maintenance for a while and kind of see what I want to do from there. And I just wanted to share those fitness lessons with you guys because I feel like a lot of people want to lose weight, but they hear all these things online, and someone who now has done it multiple times and knows the right way to do it, I feel like I'm qualified enough to be able to give you guys some advice, and hopefully this helps you guys going forward with any of your weight loss or fitness journeys. On that note, my birthday is in March. I will be going to Vegas at the end of March or maybe early April, so I definitely will be enjoying some cheat meals there, and we're going to be doing a bunch of fun things. Obviously a lot of gambling because that's what I love to do, but eating some nice restaurants as well, maybe some golf, so we'll see. But I'm definitely going to film and bring you guys along with me, so you'll get to see some of the meals I eat there. But then right when I get back, I'm locked in on the diet again, so it's really just kind of enjoy when you can, but stay disciplined for the majority of the time. And even though I am on vacation, I still make sure to get my steps in, get my lifts in and all that, so just some extra calories to fill up my glycogen and honestly just feel great in the moment. So as long as you're staying consistent in the long run, a few days of enjoying yourself definitely won't kill any progress, and just continue to keep the amount of calories that you burn high each day. So stay tuned for that Vegas video. It's going to be a ton of fun. I have also been doing a ton of crypto trading, which is why I also have not been filming in the past few months after the holidays. And so as a result of that, I've been grinding, learning a ton of lessons, and just trying to master this craft to the best of my ability. I still have a long way to go, but I'm learning a ton of lessons in the short term and just trying to be better each day and not repeat mistakes. So I'm going to kind of bring you guys into that a little bit, as well as just try to film more on the weekends now and just balance my time better. Now that I kind of have a good rhythm post-holiday, post of all the side hustles, it's mainly just focusing on filming now, trading, and just being better with fitness as well. So I look forward to filming more videos. I also wanted to let you guys know about some sneaker pickups that I've gotten recently. I hit for retail on the Kobe 3Ds, as well as the OG Fragment Chicago colorway of the collaboration with Union. I was super stoked to hit those Union Fragments because that's a crazy collab, and I love the shoe. The colorway is insane, and I'll actually show you guys those when I get back. But that shoe is so fire, and I know long term it's going to be a great investment as well. So really cool pickups in the short term, and I do also owe you guys a full collection video, so stay tuned for that. A lot of people always tell me, you're so lucky, how do you hit on all these shoe releases? But I tell them, you don't see all the times where I don't hit on these releases, and that's way more than the times I do hit. And this lesson kind of connects between whether it's shoes, fitness, nutrition, anything like that. If you're consistent with something, you're going to have way more results than someone who's just in and out, doesn't do it every day, skips some days. And that's just clear based on how many shoe wins I have, my fitness wins that I have. Anytime I want to lose weight, I'm able to, or if I want to bulk, I'm able to successfully put on muscle. And that's because I'm consistent with everything I do. And I've really found that to be the differentiator between me and other people, is I put in the work consistently, and I'm not scared to fail, because any failures that I do partake in, I learn something from them and I try not to repeat them. And I gave you guys the example earlier with the diet, or with the shoes, for example. I go for every drop that I think is going to be profitable, and many times I don't hit, but when I do, I love it and I get some amazing shoes. But all the people who only go for drops once a week or once a month, you're not going to have the same results as me. And so take these examples as lessons about the fact that consistency outweighs everything in the short term and long term. And whether you see results now or in a month, understanding delayed gratification is vital to long-term success, because all the results that you want don't instantly happen, and you have to be patient and be willing to endure the time it takes to get to those results. And that's something that I've really began to master and understand better for my own life. With that being said, I hope these pieces of advice help some people out there. And now let me show you guys my recent shoe pickups. So as I mentioned earlier, we have the Union LA Fragment collab with Jordan, and this shoe is absolutely amazing. This Fragment blue right here is so nice, and I never thought I would have owned this pair, especially since like the bottom is the Fragment blue. That pair is like thousands of dollars, and I just wouldn't pay that price just for a blue stamp. But I now kind of have the best of both worlds because I have a Chicago upper and then that fragment blue in the bottom. And man, it looks so good in person. I also forgot to mention that I got the Caitlin Clark Kobe's, and this pair is so nice. That orange to yellow kind of fade is so nice with the blue, and I just love the colorway of this and how the oranges and the blues kind of go together. It really creates a nice pop, and I see a ton of NBA players wearing these, so I know this is a great hold for the long term. And lastly, we have the Kobe 3Ds. Really nice shoe. They actually even come with 3D glasses. And this is the re-release of this pair. This pair originally came out, I believe, in 2015 or 2011, one of the two. But yeah, really cool pair, paying homage to an OG pair. And yeah, anything Kobe is just super fire in general. So these are my recent pickups and more to come. Thank you guys so much for watching. And once again, I want to apologize for the lack of consistency with the videos. As I talked about earlier, it was due to good reasons and the fact that I was really focused on my side hustles, growing myself, as well as some small businesses. And I had to put that first, but I also really prioritize documenting everything because it's fun to look back on, and my goal is to also inspire other people and help other people along their journeys. So I'm going to be as consistent as possible. Stay tuned for more videos to come, including my birthday video, sneaker collection, and more videos on fitness, nutrition, and just lifestyle in general, and trying to better yourself each day. And with that being said, I will see you guys in the next video.